If you want to visually change a coin in front of your spectator's eyes, in this video I will show you exactly how to do that. So let's get started. So here is how you're going to be doing this trick. Now this is very easy to do, and for this you're going to require a certain things. Now this trick has to be performed on a table, because you can also perform this on a hand, but the methods that I'm going to be teaching you, it's not going to be one that you're going to be using to perform on hand. This is a table only video. So if you are a hands only person, this video is not for you, but still you can learn something over here. So stay and watch, because I'm going to be explaining amazing things over here. So you can see I have two coins. You need two coins, obviously, two different coins, visually different, because you need the change to look visual. And in order to do that, you need coins that look different. So for example, let's just say if you took a 2 rupee coin and you took a 1 rupee coin, they almost look similar. So they won't be visually different, even though the coins are different. But let's just say, but over here, as you can see, I have taken 2 rupee coin and a 10 rupee coin. The 10 rupee coin is visually different from the 2 rupee coin. So 10 rupees, 2 rupees. So 10 rupees coin is visually different from 2 rupees coin, and that's why when the change happens, it will look visual that the coin actually changed. So you need to have two different coins which look visually different. You need to have a tabletop, and also you need to have a smooth surface, because if you move the coin around, you cannot have the only sound that you want to hear, or you want the audience to hear, is the sound of your hand moving over the table, not the coin. Okay, the coin does not make much noise if it's moved on a soft surface. But let's just say if it's being moved on a hard surface like this, if you move your hand on a hard surface, there's a small sound. But if you move a coin on a hard surface, there's a lot of sound. So you don't want that. Make sure you have a soft surface, preferably a mat, a very soft mat on the top of table, in order for you to perform. And there are two ways to perform this, two scenarios. One is in front of the camera and the other is in front of the spectator. So first, let's talk about how you're going to do that in front of the camera. Now, in order to do that in front of the camera, you need to place two coins at this position. Now this is the coin that will be visible, and this is the coin that this visible coin will change into. And then if you keep this coin over here, you put the other hand on top of it, you can see that the coin is actually hidden under the wrist of this hand. This is my right hand, so the right hand wrist is hiding the actual coin. And if I turn my hand like this, it's pretty much almost invisible, because nobody's going to notice the wrist part. Even if it flashes a little bit, it's not going to do much of a thing. But if you're performing this in front of a camera, try to post a video in which you don't have a flash. So keeping it under your wrist is going to help you, because if the coin is under your wrist, then if you turn your hand like this, you won't be flashing the coin, because the wrist is very wide. Now if your hand is over here, what happens is, when you're turning your hand, this part is flat. So sometimes this part, while turning, it touches the mat and it also slides the coin away, which just happened a few moments ago. So that's what I was trying to tell you, and you got a visual demonstration already. So you can see this coin is here. If I keep it under my palm, if I move it, if I show my hands empty, I might be able to show my hands empty, but still at this angle of my hand, the hand is very narrow compared to the coin, and it could be visible at any point. And if it's under the cover of your fingers, of course, you're not going to hide it very well. So keep it hidden under the cover of your wrist, and then turn your hands over, because if you see right now, the wrist is very wide compared to the coin, and that's how the wrist will hide your coin, and you can show your hands empty anytime as you want. Now, I did flash a couple of times because I'm right now teaching you, and it really doesn't matter. While I'm performing, I need to make sure that I'm not flashing. And the coin stays here, the hand stays on top. You take the coin with both the hands like this, you show the coin, you drop it here, then you show your hand empty, then you turn it back, and you come down over here. Now, when you come down over here, what you're doing is essentially you're placing the coin right under your fingers, and then you're moving the coin up. So the coin moves up and it stays under your finger. Your hand keeps pressed onto the coin. You come over here, you lift this palm a little bit so that you don't move this coin. You come over here and then you press onto that coin and then move your hand up to this point, and you have to feel that the other coin has actually arrived at the position where the previous coin was, and then you have to lift the fingers a little bit so that it should not be visible. Like the lifting of the fingers should not be visible, it should be hidden in this big movement. So if you lift the fingers a little bit and then move your hand, keep moving your hand, this coin, the other coin, is going to come and land at the same position as the previous coin. And that's how you can do that change. And what happens to this other coin is this coin stays in attached to your palm because you have pressed onto it, and you glide it to the edge of the table, and then you drop it off the edge of the table onto your lap. And that is a lapping method, that is called a lapping technique. So you drop it onto your lap, and then you can show everything clear because you're not even going to hand the table. I mean, you're not even going to have the coin on the table anymore. And that is what we are going to be discussing for the spectator's point of view. So remember one thing, the handling of this changing is going to be the same. The spectator's point of view is going to be different because they are not going to be looking directly from above, they are going to be looking from this direction, from my front. So in order to do that, I'll have to change the tactics a little bit, and I'll show you how just in a moment. But still, just remember that you're keeping the coin here, putting the wrist on top of it, then moving your hands like that, grabbing the coin with your fingers, coming over here, and then placing the coin almost right over there. Now, I have to concentrate on the trick instead of explanation in order to make this perfect. So, this is what the trick actually looks like. See? That's it. That's how easy it is. You just have to move your hand and it should look magical, and it should also look casual. And the coin has already fell onto my lap. Now, in order to do this with spectators, the first thing that you need to do is that you have to omit what you did at the first, which is hiding the coin over here under your wrist. You cannot do that anymore because the spectators are looking from the front. Now, if the spectators are looking from the front, you might be able to do this, but this is also very risky depending on the angle where the spectators are. So, I would suggest using the hand washing technique, which looks somewhat like this. So you have the coin, you place the other hand on top of it, then you just cover the coin. M- It looks like that you're just washing your hands under the tap, and then it looks like both the hands are empty. You can see, you could never see the coin the entire time. So the coin was always in my hands, but it was covered by the other hand somehow or the other. So the coin is here. All I'm doing is just placing other hand on top of it, turning it over, sliding it out, taking it onto the other hand by pressing it a little bit, palming it a little bit, and then coming over here, turning it over, and make sure that the coin stays under this fingers. And you just do like that. It looks like that your hands are actually empty. And after you have done that, you immediately, what you do is from this move, after the coin is over here, which is let's just say your dominant hand, my dominant hand is right hand, so you have to know which hand you're going to be using to do the move. Now, when the coin is here on your dominant hand, you palm the coin a little bit, and without lifting this hand completely and revealing the coin, you turn this hand over, and you drop the coin literally on that soft surface on the table, because the surface and the table does not change, they absolutely stay the same. Just the handling of the coin to show that your hands are empty, that changes. So you drop the coin onto the soft surface, nobody hears a sound, and then all you do is you keep this hand on top, and the spectators are already convinced that both of your hands are empty. You move this other hand away, which is not necessary for you for this trick, so that the spectators are now on the focus of this coin. Now, all I have to do is just bring my hands down a little bit. Now, I'm not pressing onto the coin right over here because I need the coin under my fingers. So, if the coin needs to be under my fingers, all I have to do is just lift my palm without pressing, lift my palm, pull my hands back, and whenever I feel like, because of course I'm going to have estimation that I have moved my hands this much, so the coin will be right over here. So when I'm going to feel the coin is right under my fingertips, I'm going to press down. And then what happens is that we go back to the first position, like when we were performing this in front of camera, the explanation that I gave you, that the coin should remain under the tip of your finger. Then you lift your palm a little bit, move on top of the other coin, and then press onto it, so that you press onto this coin and then move both the coins. So both the coins move under your hand, and all that happens is that you come to this point where you feel that the other coin, which is hidden under your fingers, is exactly at the point where the other coin was, where the coin that the spectator saw was. When you feel like that, you lift your fingers a little bit. Again, it's going to be the same. Don't lift it too much, just lift it a little bit so that you release the pressure of that coin, and you move your other hand away, and make sure this coin is also going to be pressed at the same time. You're just going to lift your fingers. So when you lift your fingers, you release the other coin, which you are going to make it look like that this coin has changed into that, and this coin that is hidden under your palm stays hidden and stays under pressure, so that when you pull your hands back from at the edge of the table, towards the edge of the table, from there you can just slide the hand. Let's just say this is the edge of the table. You slide the hand out of the edge just a little bit, not entirely, just a little bit, and then you turn your hands over. Now, what that does is it already drops the coin from the edge of the table onto your lap, and your hand is already free to show that it's empty. So you turn the hand from that side, and that is how you do this exact coin trick. So that's it for this video. Hopefully, you liked it. Make sure you subscribe for more amazing tricks like this one.